Eti for me chacha obibia mema obibiara nso akwaba aha Daily TRENZ TV said ye da ye de ensem a etwagu e Ghana bremo nso ebi ababeto efia ye monra ensem no emu
ewo Accra High Court na yekopie mu no ma abushafo court no eko asetena court no eko ye no efa the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the NPP Chairman Bernard Entry-Boesiako ni case abushafo egusu a ekoso no eho na ni nyina no abushafo ye di nsem na chi ya mamo update ahodo chese de nsem no esi eko ni nyina na emu nkyeremu yetimi e de abramo na abushafo court no esa etena ase ni nyina no eyese omo etua asenia na chese ekoso no eho enu nti no omo etua so ema prosecution witness Edward Akwasi Akioko eba say ene ono so emekasa as a prosecution witness ewo asem ni mu no ena bisanfo oba ebekasa etese nsem o odi etuja de etese enye asem ketwa o kire se ono no as former manager edema akonta mining chese na ono take key instructions from chairman to me and then talking about and then the accusation kire se chairman to me akonta mining they mined in the tunnel Nimere Forest Reserve no na kire se nokre na nokre nyina no chairman to me and instructing se omo entimi enye adwuma wo ho na yebebawrem na yetimi akogi nkyeremu as to the statement witness no otimi edi atudwa na makenka kakra enso etimi edi amam na chese bibia enso etimi akoso say after some months A2 asked us to move into another area to continue our mining. That area was in the Ayine district near Enchi in the western north region. It was a forest reserve, the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve. We opening a fellow Edward Akwasi Akionko ono and this answer we say I knew from experience that we required permits and licenses to mine in such areas. I asked A2, that is the second accused, make A2 and actually the second accused once and make count. So I asked A2 whether he had the authorization, since I did not intend to do anything illegal. So according to him, Chairman to me assured him that approval had been secured. He told me to proceed, saying he had spoken to the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, and then that the minister was aware. So I say it was only a no objection letter from the Forestry Commission in response to a request by minister. It was not a mining permit. We began mining in the forest reserve regardless. We began mining in the reserve regardless. Until we following the cross-examination na for a course led by lawyer Andy Apiakubi and Chelsea Otimi and so Eddie anymore. Chelsea na Otimi na prosecution which stated that Akonta Mining Company Limited, the first accused, was incorporated into Ghana on November 5th, 2010, with its principal place of business listed at Takwa, although its operations are mainly in Samiboy. The second accused, Bernard Entry-Boesiako, is a shareholder and director of the company. The third accused, Kwame Entry, is listed as a co-shareholder and director, but is currently at large. Investigation suggests that Chairman Tumi has exercised full control over the company's operation. Kojo Owusu-Bempah, fifth accused and operations manager of the company, is also at large. A former accused person, Edward Akioko, had been dropped from the case after agreeing to testify from the interior case in the course now. It has to do with a Chairman Tumi and a second accused. Second accused. Case in there for and then again, the first accused, the third accused. Just one account in an ocean year. Na Chelsea assembly there. Chelsea Enyasem Ketwanimum no, considering the former accused person and also a can who be no Sabino because decided to testify for the prosecution into Sabri na some air costing no or me a drop no etimi a from no and I'm dropping now to me a diabetuja or say mine in a course in no and yes on one at the omope and the my name no a chairman to me and a mom who can say omunko na enko my name naturally say omuntimi any omujuma na say bibia so entimi enko sinti Sabri after say the accused and I say the prosecution witness or Timmy Edison Semu Yinano, Timmy Eddie Ebetuja, and any option for court no, Etimi Etenasi, Etini na court no, Etimi Ewi, you know, and any court no so, Edini decision, and so Etimi Eddie Abba Sabrino, and Semno, they say, or Twas that, or Bessan Swatanasi beam, no Etimi at Twaso Eddie na kyerɛ sɛ baabi ayi da no watimi ɛde ato na kyerɛ sɛ bibia nso ɛtimi akɔso but then throughout all these proceedings ɛkɔso nyinaa no for chairman wontum were proving and ase or claiming not to prove but then were claiming say ɔyɛ innocent of all charges submission for they say yɛde abɔ no no nti yɛhwɛ sɛ de besi akɔ the proceedings and everything update abɛdrop bi bɛhwɛ ne ɛtimi de nkyerɛmu abrɛm but for now yɛnkɔ into other stories na yɛhwɛ wɔn nso nsɛm kakra ɛwɔ hɔ
Edia akoma nyina eba form na afi ahwa se hwe nyoma na o raise no one
rubber form because of the tone
to any be responses that other communicators in the NDC no we are not looking at that communication here tone ni wo form akoma wo form no now from paragraph by paragraph asema woka all this one raising no critical and that is the fact. It is a krata no troye no. The same krata no only word back kukura film. Fan say na na asante bedie tu ana iden atro. Not even a single word and this is a film. Because there was no pointer. The president of the land then and Ghana a scarcity of finance when resources and now to Kwana the emotion say in any school that school down more school down so hospital money way and at no point the president at no point
in the essentially Nyomo Cow letter name is true today and it was true yesterday
forever until we get what we all want to get as a country and the Troy no media them pay on Kwan say one man a bet is na no so na ahomaso awran mu am be justify am be put up defense a necessary conversation even though it's very uneasy and uncomfortable but it's a very necessary conversation.
Yeah,
is it I'm saying you lift everything in the write up and then change the person who wrote it and put in the nice antibiotic to inside asa. What it should tell you as a country and as a party and as individuals is that we have a challenge.
I think, sir, in as much as I agree with the content of the letter, what I thought should have been included, the reality, sir, the things he said in the open letter, were true yesterday, and that maybe in opposition, they said certain things about presidential travels. He thought Omuko overboard. I think that admission would have made this letter very whole and very complete.
Yes. But I mind yourself for say. Yebeka say ye patrol e won ye bi esemkaye bi anomon bi a 2 year enya papa krata na dia tumu. You don't even say if it was not right yesterday, it means that today too is not right. If it was not right today, it means that why is it right yesterday? So Kratana Kasa Kachel say and Komabona Fahono. So we not that rare opportunity man paying in Koma. And now catch another Danko Kufado because Ghana here Zawium Shine based on technical advice at the man. Name Yansan Suya Gario. Yansan to be Garia. So even with our buying of presidential luxurious jets in November, Ghana has schools and the trees here. Yes, school fee here. Hospital mammograph. So now, what is the bane? The bane is we have propagated falsehood all these years as a country and as a people that hasn't inured to to the benefit of the Ghanaian society and even our presidents.
Yes, because I remember, sir, when the issue of
even our presidents,
a new presidential jet somewhere in 2024. I mean, the narrative was that this country doesn't need a new presidential. I remember so well interview Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwane Evans Minsaye on PM Express, and that was when he made that infamous statement, say presidential jet no engines me and Sanji Bakokra say mienu betimi arane. It was as if say buying a new presidential jet was haram. Almost a year or two later, when I read this letter, I'm like, okay, this is somebody who is ready to confront the issues. But the letter fell short of admitting, say, maybe, just maybe, in opposition they overspoke. Because, share this part of the letter. For that reason, this issue has not been taken lightly within the presidency. What the public often sees is the aircraft taking off or landing. What is less visible is the difficult balance that must constantly be struck between practicality, security, cost, and national dignity when the president travels.
But
presidential travel is unlike any other form of travel. It is not merely a journey from one city to another. It carries with it layers of responsibility, security protocols, diplomatic engagement, communication systems, and the simple but critical requirement. It's not always feasible for a certain president, particularly when the travel involves long-haul intercontinental engagement or tightly scheduled diplomatic commitment. Beyond the obvious security considerations, such travel introduces logistical complexities that can make it difficult for a head of state to carry out official duties during transit.
That's why I say all left template now the mass and we did to signature chassis. Now the water must say no SRC president. Yeah, we can do that. Now not the SRC president. So he is defining what goes into being a president and what it comes along with in terms of presidential travel. Perfect. Maybe the difference in the two is that the approach. Somebody chose to be comfortable with the brother's private jet. The other chose to say then I'll go and look out for a jet and rent it out. That's the departing line. Asa party A any party B into approach. So our disagreement was with the approach, which we can assess in the case of a coup for the president and in the team, and the national security team. Their thinking was that okay, because you call 1-2 bino and for commercial, you would the inconveniences. And please let us go. In fact, the latest president is actually John Dramani Okoka Dubai for 11 hours,
1 hour.
Yes, and we sat here. We were so disturbed and worried and said that let's put every political interpretation aside. He's our number one person here. We cannot compromise on some of these things for the sake of partisanship. No. It is your try. No message you did your try. No. The administration of Nana Addo Dankwa. Because if you talk about presidents and their travel, ordinarily they could have said here to call 7. One kasa ugoro boys omudi wa chikro bag for receive ye kra sa na ye ndu baby ye nsem fata no. Now how much more mamuni na ni.
Sure.
So what I say, so we understand and maybe we don't know the nitty-gritty, but you are telling us that and yet a normal travel, which we perfectly agree.
Sure.
Same applied to His Excellency the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Approach is different. Where we are now, we should look at these things out of any partisanship.
Yeah. But I mean, I am even happy, sir, as we speak now.
Yeah.
The Parliament of Ghana, by consensus, approval for a new fleet to be acquired.
And even with that, Obi, the former Deputy Minister for Defense, Yewura Amankwame, if I've got the ring right. Okay. His insistence is that a bigger jet. Because
that's big.
That was the same. It was the same number of people. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That's a 1916 mobile. But he is insisting that any politics, president to Nyoma president go through. So he needs that complete comfort and luxury to really make sure that baby so clearly Obi media Brasim, there's absolutely nothing out of the way to come back to us and tell us that maybe President Kufuor didn't be number one bontino. Me who ministers so say but me better not benua so no. Me who say oh no it's not as easy as I said. It's not a big deal. Now if you have people still defending, then you go and pull history and bring history that a pristine condition cannot deteriorate within 3 months or 1 year. It's not possible. Pristine condition. It's not possible. Pristine. It's not possible. In fact, 3 engines and 1 is also what? But if we begin to have that conversation, it means that we've lost it. We are not patriotic. We don't even understand what is happening.
A machine, a bit my pristine, and then 3 months time,
Did you know that when you were saying that? Makoyi ka mono every showroom.
Yes.
Before I made do circle no, na can gra na esione enkonemba. Ka mono chiam. So where from that pristine? If you agree and admit that, machine, then you shouldn't even say that. These flies now is at the mercy of Onyame. Apart from the technical nimdia. So what it tells us, lessons learned is that yeah, fruits a simple na near ya man yosema nada enkotopo trodie. In to so ni nyoma enni mu nyina no emia mono tofa emfanti trenche ni pakon.
I think sir the biggest takeout and it's now our political class no are coming to a convergence. We will not leave them at the mercy of partisan.
I hope so.
Political.
I hope so.
At least we know, sir, the safety of the president. Yeah. Who say about issues of fuel. Yeah. Who say about Nyoma control of which.
I hope so.
We are getting there. I think we are getting there.
So we need to. We need to because another major issue. The stand-up saga. What's the big deal about it? It's a big deal because what I say, the definition of family and friends.
Yes.
Be a politically exposed and also conflict of interest. Because over some Ghana, what are the other means in so no the Juma now yet dano obetima twice riding and now for so dear. Sabrina now the key conversation as of that time was Brian a Champo doctor. Key. The first word was politically exposed. Proximity to power to him there air cost to
insider trading.
So what has changed? What has changed? So I am begging Obi. It Obi kwaya amanyo sema sebi. Odi onidia na. None other Obi our capacity. Ekope hotels here slate for akaza truck at ababonte. Most you are a Greek minister or politically exposed or MP ampa business magnate to say Brian he was stopped.